Hello, everyone. Hi, DLD. How are you guys? Good. Okay, actually today I want to try to. I don't want to just like present Scribble, which is amazing, and we'll talk about it, of course. But I wanted to try to share a little bit of my experience as an entrepreneur and as a hardware passionate about the hardest part of the startup's journey, what is called the Valley of Death. And as one of the main themes of this conference today is about optimism, I want to try to see all together if we can keep optimism real high where the most of the startups actually fail. So let's start from who am I? I am Andrea Baldereschi, as she just said. I am an engineer by formation, and I'm super passionate about music. I've been producing music for my whole life, and I've been a DJ as well. So the reason why on stage I'm a little bit like more emotional is because I'm used to different environments, generally, at least a few years ago. I was born in 1989 on January 13. So actually, as you can probably realize, I turned 30 just like 5-6 days ago. That's one of the reasons why I feel a little bit weird today, but that's okay, I guess. Time just goes, no way to stop it. So I'm an entrepreneur. This is my second company. This is my second startup. In my previous startup, I was the inventor of a glove that allowed anyone to translate their gestures into music, so a piece of hardware. I love hardware. I love the idea of creating objects, of creating devices that can actually change our lives somehow. And there are like several reasons why I love hardware, but one of them is that like, it kind of reminds me the way we are done. We have a physical part where we also have a mind. Hardware does it too, because there's the physical side of it, but there's also the whole coding that goes inside it. And I think that makes it so much fascinating. I'm not saying that apps are not fascinating, they are, but I think the hardware has something more into it. And I love everything that stays in the intersection between technology and art. So there was music first in the first part of my career, but now it's art, pure art, drawing. I've been a huge passionate about drawing since when I was a kid, and this is like kind of like the environment, the intersection where I love to work and create things. And I love the idea of empowering people to have the feeling of being creating something. That's something that I think that can bring really like more happiness into all of our lives somehow. It doesn't really cost you money, it doesn't cost you too much effort, but can make you feel better. So today I'm presenting Scribble. Scribble, as Alexa said, is the world's first write and erase robot that turns your wall into an interactive canvas. You can do anything with it. You just hang it on the wall, and any drawing can take shape within minutes. And if you get tired of the design, you can actually change it real quick. So let's just give a look at this 1.5-minute video so you can better understand what Scribble is.
Why choose one decor when you can turn your wall into an interactive canvas?
Volume.
Meet Scribble, the world's first write and erase robot that creates a different image whenever you want. 2 nails and a plug is all you need to install Scribble. And thanks to the app, it's always connected. Create an image or source it from the web, then upload it to the app and Scribble will reproduce it on your wall within minutes. And if you get tired of the design, no worries. Scribble will just erase it and you can start over again. You can connect Scribble to your favorite apps and show you the latest news and weather forecast, or even your Twitter updates. Any surface is game. Whiteboard, glass, or standard plaster. And with 4 color options, the possibilities are endless. The only limit is your imagination.
Yeah, so I think that great companies great products. They all come because there's a strong vision behind it. There's a vision of the world that you really believe in. And with Scribble, we're trying to do that. We're doing that actually quite well so far. And really, the idea here is to bring art to people and also to remind us, I don't know if you noticed that when Scribble was at work in the video, but to remind us that beautiful things take time to happen. Sometimes beauty requires time to be accomplished. And Scribble really brings us there. In this world of innovations where every innovation that comes, and don't get me wrong, it's amazing. I'm a super fan about any type of innovation, but like everything is bringing more pixels and more rush and more information and data into our lives. Scribble is bringing us a little bit away from that world and bringing us more connected with something that we have been doing forever, graffiti on the wall. It's such a primordial thing that we have always been doing, and now a robot can do it for us. And I think that that's super fascinating, and also the way that it really allows you to re-see and rethink the spaces you have around you anytime you want. That's super exciting to me. As a kid, as I was, as an adult today as well. But so, let's see. We launched it on Kickstarter, guys, just a few months ago, June 2018. How did it go? Let's go very quickly through the results we had. Let's try. How do you think that the campaign went? Positive? Positive? Someone said negative. Okay, so let's go through it together. So in the first 10 minutes, we had 56 backers, meaning almost one backer every 10 seconds. And they all were putting down $200. After 2 hours, we had raised $50,000, which was our initial goal. And then after 24 hours, we had raised $180,000, which is an astonishing result in just one day. Then we finished our campaign, and we got to the impressive result of $1.6 million raised from more than 3,000 backers from all around the world, which has been amazing. And we became one of the 150 most successful Kickstarter campaigns ever, which is an incredible result. Now I want to try like really to share a little bit of my experience also with my previous startup, and not to talk only about the positive things of doing an amazing Kickstarter campaign, but also like let's talk about the downside, which is basically what comes after. Because all this data, all these numbers sounds amazing, right? It's fantastic. But do you know, guys, where I am talking to you from right now? From here, from the Valley of Death. This is where the 90% of startups fail. Actually, in hardware, even more. Likely the 95 or even 98% of hardware startups make a crowdfunding campaign, either successful or not. Amazing, we're all super happy, and then we fail. So let's try to understand why. So the Valley of Death is there. Because we start, we have an idea, we do some research, we spend some money, we learn about the product, we make it work first times. Expectations are very, very low. It's just the beginning, just an idea. Then we launch it. In our case, we did crowdfunding. You know, you see that? And that's been amazing. You can imagine our mood. We raised $1.6 million. I mean, it's crazy. It's what everybody wishes when there's a crowdfunding campaign. But then what comes after is that actually you realize that what you have been pitching, what you have been presenting, and what people have been pre-ordering is a product, not a business. They saw something, they saw a novelty, they fell in love with it, they wanted it, they bought it. But then actually it comes the moment for you as a startup to realize that you can't live on a product. You need to create a business. And that's where we are now. Fortunately, we knew it already, so we kept growing our community and kept raising more money, and we had $600,000 raised on Indiegogo right after, in the 6 months after that. So we keep going very, very well. But again, still, we're there. And also, one thing that I always like to consider as a founder and as one of the main heads of a team is the mood. It's very important, the mood you have in a team. You can't ignore it. When you launch a crowdfunding campaign, things go well, money are flowing, that's the moment where everybody wants to be. That's the moment where you can hire anyone will come and will be super excited. But then it comes the moment after when things are getting delayed, when things are not working, when you're not being able to ship products, when they tell you that you need to wait 3 months to get a certification. That's the moment that comes, and it always comes. There's no way to miss it, mostly with hardware. And that's where we are. So I'm gladly talking to you from the Valley of Death. And I know it sounds weird, but at least I know I'm there. We know we're there. And actually, if you take it in a way, it's also a good place to be, because you'll make it, you'll survive, and that's going to be even more amazing. So I just want to give a few little pieces of advice from my side on how to succeed and how to escape alive from the Valley of Death, basically. So be aware. You got to know it. If you know it, this is going to help you a lot already. Because with my previous company, with my previous hardware startup, we did crowdfunding, we did it well, but we didn't know where we were going, and we crashed. And that's how you learn things, right? And so now we know it. Get out of the building. This is a piece of advice that I stole actually from other entrepreneurs, but it's so important when you're building a new product, go and put it in people's hands. Don't spend your time in your product development base and talk to all the engineers and like say, yes, it's amazing, yes, I love it, yes, what about this feature? This is not gonna help. Mostly with crowdfunding. You need to understand what people think about your product, what really people feel about it before you start shipping it. Because if you wait for them to discover, that's gonna be tough. Rethink your customer. Crowdfunding is not telling you anything about who your customer is. Crowdfunding is an amazing way to get the funds to create a company, but it's not telling you anything about your market and about your business model at all. And that's what a lot of campaigns have shown. Rethink all the rest. Obviously, don't stick to anything. Don't stick to any conviction. Don't take anything for just solid and sure, because that's not how it is in startup life. Mostly when you're moving from a crowdfunding to real life. Do it yourself. This is a thing we are doing. We are assembling and keeping all the manufacturing of the most important pieces of our hardware right close to our office, North Italy. You keep it there. Whatever happens, whatever issue happens with any component, you jump on a car, 30 minutes, you go meet the manufacturer and solve. Amazing idea to go to Far East. It's super cool, but that's a long flight. And anything bad that happens is going to be a 10x issue instead of having it just close by. And then community is everything. Actually, crowdfunding is not just a thing about getting funds, but it's getting people. It's getting minds involved. It's getting to understand what they think, what they want, what they expect, and they will always be supportive until you treat them well, until you respect them. You have to create trust. In our case, we have 7,000 people around the world, which is a lot, supporting you and hearing everything we do. Of course, they expect us to be clear, transparent every time. So why is it worth it? This is my very last thing. From my side, why is it worth it? Because I think like huge changes in our lives, mostly if you think about all the most recent products, can come from physical innovations. So as I said earlier, hardware products can really change our lives, even more, I think, sometimes than just software products. Again, not saying I don't like software, huge fan of apps, but hardware can really change our lives. I think the fact that it's even harder to have a hardware startup makes it a little bit crazier. And I'm very happy to be kind of like considered a crazy guy. And third, challenge the status quo. This is stolen, completely stolen, and everybody probably here knows from who. But I think it makes sense. I think he was right when he said it. And so if you look like at tech environment right now with all these huge companies kind of like completely controlling the whole show, let's try to create something really new that can change all of our lives. Thank you very much.